Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of the first episode of the Kids Cool Premieres, The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. In the last episode, we still hadn't seen the film. About a day ago, we watched it, and I have to say, I'm pretty satisfied with the final results. But I'll give you my thoughts after you see these audience reactions.
So here we are with Patrick. He has an 8 o'clock showing of the film. Patrick, tell us what you're expecting from this film.
Well, what I was expecting is that everything would go happily ever after. Katniss will find its way between PETA and that other guy I don't know of.
So, who is your favorite character and why?
I think Katniss, because she just creates this big, amazing story, and it's just so awesome with her bow and arrow technique and all that.
Hi, we're here with Martha. So, what are you expecting from the Hunger Games?
I'm expecting to see like a lot of new events happening, and you know, Katniss and PETA and President Snow all like getting their seeing results of like since the first movie that we've been waiting for, like what happens and you know how does it all end, you know.
So, who is your favorite character?
Probably PETA.
PETA?
Yeah.
PETA's the man! Why do you think Katniss is the perfect hero for this day and age?
Well, she did step up, and she did have a lot of courage when she volunteered for her sister, so yeah.
Do you think she's an inspiration for people everywhere?
Yeah, I mean, she did stand up to things that people didn't stand up before, and she had the courage to do that.
Great. Awesome. I'm here with Bethany.
Luna. Beatrice.
My brother Angel.
Davina. Bella.
We're here with Roberto, and we just finished watching The Hunger Games. Tell me, what did you think of the film?
It was a pretty good movie. It was all right for the last one.
Yeah?
I thought it was really good as an ending for the entire trilogy. It was a good wrap-up.
She thinks it's a good wrap-up.
I thought it was all right.
Beatrice, what did you think of the movie?
I thought it was awesome and the best one so far.
I actually really enjoyed it. I think they did a really good job of staying true to the book. A lot of films don't do that so well, but this one I was actually really pleased with, so I really liked it.
I thought it was great, but I'm kind of sad that it's all over.
Same, yeah. I was like really good. I was like, oh, it's over. So.
Yeah, now we have to find a new book series to follow. If you were in the Hunger Games, what weapon would you choose and why?
I don't, bow and arrow. I'm just going to go with it.
A bat, because I play softball, so it's probably the only skill I have.
Who is your favorite character and why?
Honestly, I probably have to say Primrose. Like, she's, I feel like, an underrated character, but if you think about it, like, all the series are kind of revolve around her, but everybody thinks it's Katniss, so I would definitely say Primrose is my favorite by far.
I don't feel like I'm obliged to answer that, but if I would say so, PETA, because he's delicious.
There you have it, he's delicious. So, why do you think Katniss Everdeen is the perfect hero for this day and age?
Because she was the only one that dared to dream of something different, and she was like a powerful role model.
Because she protects everyone. She's a good role model to her sister, I guess, and yeah.
You can go first.
Well, females are awesome, and she's like a strong leader, and like there's not many female roles in many movies, so she's really inspiring for people that can do whatever you want.
Cool.
I think she's a good hero for this time and age because all these people are telling her different things, and this pretty much like in life, but she only listens to herself.
I would have to say so, yeah. I mean, a lot of the times now, when you think about it, nobody likes to have a voice. Like, they like to look up to somebody, and I think she does a really good job of being like, I'm not going to look up to anybody, I'm going to look up to myself. So I would have to say definitely, yeah.
Well, I feel like she's very progressive, like to have a female lead, a strong female lead. But I wouldn't say that she's my favorite character. I would say my favorite character would be PETA because he's delicious.
Who are you rooting for the entire time? PETA or Gale?
Neither.
Neither?
No.
PETA, obviously.
PETA, by far. Team PETA all the way, for sure. Team PETA.
Team PETA.
Team PETA all the way.
PETA.
PETA.
Why?
Because it's just like, he like fought through his, like, the tracker venom because he found his true love for Katniss.
He was always loving her, and then he had to like remember that. It was hard for him to remember that, but when he did, it was like cool. So.
Katniss.
Team Katniss. All right, I like that answer.
On a scale from 1 to 10, what would you guys give this movie?
11.
13.
10.
A 10.
A 7.3.
10.
Oh, definitely a 10. Yeah, I know a lot of people are like, oh, why would you give it a 10? But no, I really, really think that they did a really good job, like I said previously, of sticking true to the book. And everything was just done really well. So I would say definitely 10. Go see it. Go see it.
And there you have it, folks. A 10 out of 10. Thank you.
Yeah, have a good one. Thank you. Bye.
Hey guys, so I hope you enjoyed those audience reactions. Now for my critique. Overall, I really enjoyed the film. I do have to admit though, there were some parts that I was a little confused about. Not that I didn't like, it was just more confusion. In order to review this, I will divide this into 3 parts. The 3 acts of the film. Warning, this video contains spoilers. Stay away. If you haven't seen this, turn it off. If you have and don't care, continue. So Act 1 is made up from the beginning of the movie to when they reach the Capitol. We get Katniss, who's still shooting propaganda videos for the rebels. Honestly, that could have been done in the last movie. Then, Katniss travels to District 2 because she wants to kill President Snow. And there, she all of a sudden meets this group of people who say, oh, we're shooting a propaganda video with you. Oh, I didn't know, but okay! Then, on the way to the Capitol, all of this crazy stuff happens. It's like they're entered into another Hunger Games. People begin to die, there's traps set up all over the place. It's nuts. Which is why it's weirdly paced, because we weren't expecting any of this. They weren't expecting any of this. Katniss wasn't expecting any of this. No one knows anything! Another thing I didn't like, and was not expecting like the entire first act, was that they let Peeta out. He was tortured for about, what, 6 months? Then all of a sudden, after 1 month, they let him out and back in the game? No! No! The objectives of the character changes way too fast. We think that Katniss is there to kill President Snow. Then we think that she's there to shoot propaganda videos. And then, finally, we find out that she's there only to survive, to kill President Snow. It's crazy. This all happens in like, what, 10-15 minutes? No, just no. The second act is a big determining factor on whether the movie will flop or not. And this second act is near perfect. I say the second act starts right before Boggs dies to right when Prim dies. There's non-stop action, many deaths, and so many obstacles that our heroes need to face emotionally and physically. Around the beginning of the second act, there's a part where the Capitol is filming Katniss and all of her buddies, and they're running into the buildings. Then all of a sudden, Peeta goes crazy and tries killing Katniss and manages to push someone into that weird tar thing. Katniss escapes, goes to another building, and then all of a sudden these peacekeepers go and blow up the building where Katniss was at before. How was this all filmed before and after, but not when she left the building and went to a different building? What? So Primrose's death is something that could have been done a lot better. We get a quick glimpse right before she explodes. I didn't even know she was already being a nurse in the war. I thought she was still training. What? What? They could have done something like this. Hey sister, when do you finish nursing school? I don't know. Maybe a couple of months. Oh, that's my little sister. Ha ha ha. You could have done that in the last movie. You could have done that in the beginning of this movie. I still wouldn't have expected her death, to be honest. But it would have been a little less awkward and a little less surprising than that. This wasn't good surprising, this was awkward surprising. The second act is simply said a roller coaster of emotions. Even minor characters such as Polix, you know the guy without the tongue? He's in the sewer and he starts crying. You just feel all of this emotion pouring out of him. It's so crazy, it's so sad. And then we have Peeta, who's trying to figure out who he is and what's real and what isn't. And then there's Katniss, who's trying to bring Peeta back, who's also trying to stop people from dying because she feels bad that all of this is happening supposedly because of her. On a side note, did anyone else notice that those monsters from the sewers looked a lot like my man Guillermo's Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth? The third act begins with Katniss waking up after Primrose has died. I feel like some parts could have been a lot better, but overall, solid third act, solid ending. I especially loved how reminiscent of history this third act was. I mean, come on, it was right in your face. One evil dies, the other takes over. There have been many times in history where there's a dictatorship, followed by a revolution, followed by another dictatorship. I think the biggest problem I had with this act was that it dragged on too long. I felt like we got Katniss's entire ending, when it could have been a tiny bit shorter. And how they could have made it shorter was showing everyone else's ending also. I wanted to know what happened to the other characters, such as Haymitch, such as Effie, such as the mom. What happened to them? What? I have to be honest with you, I didn't read any of the books, but I did read that final page that says, there are worse games. So I was very happy they stuck with that. Good job. Overall, I have to say I really enjoyed this film, and I really recommend you go see it on the big screen. I mean, why not? It's the last film. Go nuts. One more thing. I have to praise Jennifer Lawrence's performance in the end. That scene with the cat really got to me. And one more thing. Josh Hutcherson, great job. I feel like his acting really improved in this one. I enjoyed the scenes where he's walking around, talking to himself, banging his head on things, trying to remind himself who he is. Good job. Those two actors really brought the film together. Overall, I give this movie an 8.3. Please go see it. It's great. Well, this concludes the first episode of Kids Cool Premieres. Be sure to click the subscribe button and join us next week for Creed.